Christoph in Hungary writes to me and he says, I am curious to know how high-end the cables that you use for Octave records and the recording process. What are your experiences and thoughts on cables when it comes to making the recordings? I'm sure you'd want to avoid colorations. By the way, I'm 22 years old and I've been watching for years, so thank you for all the hard effort you put into all of this. I wish I'll have a similar discipline in my senior years. Well, you got a ways to go, bud, but thanks. I mean, I'm always impressed when a 22-year-old is getting into this wonderful hobby of ours, high-end audio. It's great. So, Christoph, thank you. Congratulations. That's a really good question. As you know, if you're a regular watcher of these videos, Paul, me, believes strongly in cables. Cables make a difference sonically. And we do our best for speaker cables, interconnects, digital cables to use the best we can to make sure the synergy between components works, okay? Really important. How important is that in the recording process? Well, as Christoph implies here, what's really critical to me when I engineer anything over at Octave Studios is neutrality and things that actually work, okay? So we've outfitted all of Octave records and the microphone cables and everything that we do as best we can with a very neutral sounding cable. Most of them are from a company called McGowan. I have a few extras that we do that are long ones that we've worked on to make sure that those super long ones are, and those aren't Mogamis. I don't remember the name of those. But yeah, we went through a whole process of hooking up microphones to cables and listening to them. But it's very hard. And the reason it's very hard to do that and why we didn't spend years like we have with audio cables is there's really no stable reference. So just imagine the problem for a moment. I got a microphone. What's my source? What am I going to use as a repeatable source to listen to? A guy playing a guitar? Well, every time he plays that guitar, he's going to play it a little bit differently. Even the best guitar players always play it a little bit differently. So every time I do this, when I change a cable, if there's a huge difference, easy to hear. If there's subtle differences, I don't know. It's a lot easier when you have a CD that is a stable reference, and I can hear minutest of details because I have a stable reference. In a live recording, I certainly don't. And there's so many factors. So what we've done is just basically chosen the most neutral sounding cables we can. Those are Mogami for the most part, and call it a day. And the rest of it, we just do with microphone placement. The last thing I'm gonna, because I just had this conversation with another engineer who's kind of famous in the industry, and he was talking about, well, you know, when we go from DSD to DXD and then analog and back again, the process, the process that you use is really critical, which I agree with, but the way that we do it, the difference is so small that a change in the microphone position is like the Grand Canyon in sonic difference compared to this little bitty stream that we're jumping across in difference. So what I mean by that is if I've got a violinist, right, and I take a microphone, or depending on what microphone I choose, they all sound so different, radically different. But whatever microphone I've chosen, if they're playing and I don't quite like the way it sounds on our reference system, moving the microphone closer, farther away, adding another mic, all that kind of stuff makes huge differences in sound quality. So what I like about recording is we have so much control over how it sounds. And we're talking big changes. And if I don't like the way it sounds, change the microphone, change the position. Okay, anyway, enough on all that. Too much rambling. I'm trying, folks. I'm really trying. You know Paul, he likes to ramble. Okay, thanks for the question. All right, bye.